getting out. It's just now finding its way to us. Right? Where was my dates? 9/15, that's right. It's just now getting to us. It's just now getting to the public, right? There was a leak. The information got out. What are we to make of it as men when we complain that women are total whores? Why is it that their brains don't work? What is influencing them? And again, this is speculation on my part. But men are complaining more and more of masculine behaving women. Where is it coming from? Why are they acting like men, wanting to dominate and be the boss? They can't, but they think they can. The brain. You cannot have sex with someone and have there be no consequence. Right? What is a defining characteristic of the male, whether it's human or others? Right? The male's job is to inseminate as many women as possible. Right? Breed with them. That's what all animals do. Right? Our sperm is designed to do that. These women, right, that are whores, they're getting perforated by everyone's semen. They're jack sauce. Where does it go? Is it all burrowing its way into the inside of them, getting into their brain? Is that DNA causing other hormonal triggers to occur to produce more masculine women? Because they are just literally injected full of everyone else's jack sauce, right? It is scary to think. If they're having sex with nothing but tough guys, what kind of DNA is getting in their brain? Tough guy DNA, right? Big, dirty mouth, right? Who knows what this is causing? What I do know is I can point to and say women are a pain in the ass. They are not feminine, they're masculine. They are not submissive, they're dominant. More and more women are becoming more and more of a problem for men to deal with, to have relationships with. Could this be the reason? Could this be a big part of the reason? The fact that their systems are being flooded with other men's DNA. Now, if we're talking about you and a woman, just you and just her together, and you're the only man's DNA she's getting, right? You've got what? DNA compatibility. It's your DNA and it's in her. Now she carries your DNA. But if she's having sex with 10 different guys a week, in fact, there's a woman on YouTube claiming to have sex with 4 different guys every day because that empowers her. She is getting jacked up and injected with who knows what into her bloodstream, into her brain. If she's getting those quality of guys, what do you think those quality of guys, their brain functions like? Their DNA is like? As a man, it bothers the living shit out of me to know that women that I could have potentially dated have what, 5, 10, 20, 40, 100 different guys' DNA coursing their veins? No wonder we can't get along with them. The potential here of DNA conflict, right, is just off the charts. You're supposed to be able to pair bond with a woman. Maybe that includes injecting your DNA in her. And then she looks out for you. You are her man that she cares about. Well, if she's getting screwed by every other guy on the planet, her DNA is saying, be loyal to that guy and be loyal to that type of guy. And oh, don't forget this other guy. She's not loyal to any one guy. She's loyal to every guy, which means being loyal to herself and her need to get porked by every cock that comes along, i.e. the cock carousel. Once again, I know this is conjecture on my part, but we've got some very, very, very interesting evidence. And we also have social evidence. Now, if colleges can run around and say what they teach in college qualifies as a social science, just like politics is a political science because it can be studied, factored, created, and recreated. We have in our lives as men, we have seen it get progressively worse as female promiscuity gets progressively worse and it gets progressively encouraged by the education system. We're seeing a progression of female behavior that is extremely dangerous. Now, stepping back and looking at how animals, female animals, conserve DNA from prior male mates, should it be any surprise that that genetic material, sperm left by the last guy that fucked your girlfriend or your wife, is still in there rolling around? See, the bodies are incredibly mysterious. Biology is incredibly mysterious. The research here is showing that they don't know everything. Now, they could say, sperm dies in 3 or 4 days, yada, yada, yada. You can't do that. Well, they used to say you can't clone anybody and it's impossible. Or you couldn't revive DNA from something that's dead. Or past 5 years, or past 100, or past 10,000. You know, they can revive DNA going back to frickin' dinosaurs. And you're going to tell me that it's not possible that the guy that was banging your girlfriend before you got her, his DNA isn't in her and is not alive or viable or competing with yours? Scary stuff. Why can't she think like a woman? Because she's got so much injected male DNA in her, she can't think like a woman. She's got to fight with you all the time. She's got to compete with you all the time. Who's the boss? What's for dinner? Who's taking out the trash? Who's going to sit on the couch and drink a beer, right? Men are having to compete with women. That's not what we're about. We go out and compete with the world, come back to our house and want to sit down and be served by a submissive, docile, feminine, true feminine woman. We don't get that anymore. Since the free love of the 60s, women have been getting off the hook and on the jack sauce. What do you guys think of this? Can you correlate male DNA being pumped into your girl, getting into her bloodstream, lodging itself? Because that's what sperm does. It nails an egg, enters in, and injects its DNA into it. If they're getting into a woman's bloodstream and injecting themselves into, right, the blood cells themselves, or into the bone marrow where blood is created, and they're creating male DNA containing blood cells, and then it's getting into their brain and lodging in their brain and injecting male DNA into their brain cells. What does that tell us about their thinking? Am I wrong on this? Should I not be worried about this freaking nightmare scene from the movie Aliens? Or from the movie, the Gremlins? Cooties? Leprechaun? I don't know, right? To me, it bothers the fuck out of me. Why did it bothers me to death. There is going to be a lot more study into this. And for us as Mgtow, we already understand there's a problem with women and we're not afraid to say so. We want to know why and where. Right? I have my theories and ideas about women and their estrogen levels being off the hook. Why do women have broad shoulders now? Why are their arms getting bigger? Right? Why do they have blocky hips instead of nice curvy feminine hips? Instead, they're built like a frickin' potato or a robot. Where is that coming from? Is that male DNA making its presence known because they're off the hook whores? Women having sex at age 15, 12, prepubescent? Right, if you take a man who has low testosterone and inject him full of testosterone, what happens? It doesn't matter whether he's a kid or an adult, he gets bigger and more muscular. You take a woman and inject her with testosterone, she gets bigger and more muscular. She gets more masculine features on her face, rougher, tougher male skin, even body hair. If women out there are taking so much sperm, so much jack sauce, is it any wonder that they aren't injected full of male hormones? Right, who are they getting it from? The most aggressive alpha males out there. They're just lining up to get porked away. Is that the source of this? Or is it just a contributing factor? Either way blows me away. Right? For us as guys, we're like, yeah, I guess that's how it goes. Right? No, it used to be that women would have sex, get pregnant, not have sex for a while or as much, but it was always with the same guy. There wasn't competing DNA rolling around inside her head. Right? The whole system, the whole sexual dynamics, social dynamics of the male-female relationship is off the hook. And I think there's a damn good chance this has a lot to do with it. Right now, I know that the older guys out here are going to say, women have always been fucked up. Right? That's nothing new. The levels of fuck-it-upness is what I'm talking about. How many levels do you have to hear or have to see in someone else's behavior and their vocabulary? Right? Why is it a woman can act feminine and then in a split second, bam, she